We're having chai, tea, and coffee with Emily Dickinson. And
Chai,
with
tea,
some
and coffee.
readings. We're reading from the incomplete works, not the partial works, but the complete. 7, we're at
Not the selected works.
not selected. 783 is the 783rd poem of 1,775 poems. And this one is The Birds Began at 4 o'clock. Which they typically do, don't
It's
they?
a number, it's not a title.
The birds begun at 4 o'clock, their period for dawn, a music numerous as space, but neighboring as noon. I could not count their force, their voices did expend, as brook by brook bestows itself to multiply the pond. Their witnesses were not, except occasional man, in homely industry arrayed to overtake the morn. Nor was it for applause, but I could ascertain but independent ecstasy of deity and men. By six the flood had done, no tumult there had been.
Can I have a copy of this?
Of dressing or departure, and yet the band was gone. The sun engrossed the east, the day controlled the world, the miracle that introduced forgotten as fulfilled. They were done by 6 o'clock. It's 4 to 6.
What do they do after?
They're hours.
What do they do after 6? Make sure to wake up everybody. Yeah?
You like that poem?
Mm-hmm.
I like because they get up at 4. Uh-huh. They seem to sing instead of meditate. Why don't they meditate instead of singing? 784. Bereaved of all, I went abroad. No less bereaved was I upon a new peninsula. The grave preceded me, obtained my lodgings ere myself, and when I sought my bed, the grave it was reposed upon, the pillow for my head. I waked to find it first awake. I rose, it followed me. I tried to drop it in the crowd, to lose it in the sea. In cups of artificial drowse, to steep its shape away. The grave was finished, but the spade remained in memory. 785. They have a little odor, that to me is mitra, nay, 'tis melody, and spiciest at fading indicate a habit of laureate. Is that like an herb or something?
Could be.
786. Severer service of myself, I hasten to demand to fill the awful vacuum your life had left behind. I worried nature with my wheels when hers had ceased to run. When she had put away her work, my own had just begun. I strove to weary brain and bone, to harass, to fatigue the glittering retinue of nerves, vitality to clog. To some dull comfort those obtain who put a head away. They knew the hair too, and forgot the color of the day. Affliction would not be appeased. The darkness braced as firm as all my stratagem had been. The midnight to confirm. No drug for consciousness can be alternative to die. Is nature's only pharmacy for being's malady. Is that nature's pharmacy?
Which one?
An alternative to the no drug for consciousness can be alternative to die. Is nature's only pharmacy for being's malady. That's death is a cure. I don't know what it means.
Could be.
Or alternative to die. She may have been into near-death experience or voluntary NDE.
You did?
What?
You did or I did?
What?
Who did?
Emily. She's always dying. Keeps dying all the time. 787. Such is the force of happiness. The least can lift a ton, assisted by its stimulus. Who, misery sustain no sinno, can afford the cargo of themselves. Too infinite for consciousness, slow capabilities.
I'm gonna do the light.
You like that?
I'm listening.
Interesting. 788. Joy to have merited the pain, to merit the release, joy to have perished every step, to compass paradise, pardon to look upon thy face with these old-fashioned eyes, better than new could be for that, though bought in paradise. Because they looked on thee before, and thou hast looked upon them, prove me my hazel witnesses. The features are the same, so fleet thou wert when present, so infinite when gone, and Orient's apparition, remanded of the morn. The height I recollect 'twas even with the hills. The depth upon my soul was notched as floods on whites of wheels. To haunt till time have dropped his last decade away, and haunting actualized to last at least eternity.
At least eternity?
Yeah. Don't you think we should do analysis? Oh, 789. On a columnar self, and how ample to rely, in tumult or extremity, how good the certainty that lever cannot pry, and wedge cannot divide, conviction that granic base, though none be on our side, suffice us for a crowd, ourself and rectitude, and that assembly not far off from furthest spirit God. $7.90. Nature, the gentlest mother is, impatient of no child, the feeblest or the wayfarest, her admonitions mild. In forest and the hill by traveler be heard, restraining rampant squirrel or too impetuous bird. How fair her conversation, a summer afternoon, her household, her assembly, and when the sun go down. Her voice among the isles incite the timid prayer of the minutest cricket, the most unworthy flower. When all the children sleep, she turns as long away as will suffice to light her lamps. Then bending from the sky with infinite affection and infanter care, her golden finger on her lip wills silence everywhere.
Nice, huh?
Mm-hmm. Nature poem.
See, I like it when it's nice.
Got 791. We're almost to 800. God gave a loaf to every bird, but just a crumb to me. Is that a famous poem? He only gave her a crumb.
No.
I dare not eat it, though I starve my poignant luxury. To own it, touch it, prove the feat that made the palate mine, too happy for my sparrow's chance, for ampler coveting. It might be famine all around, I could not miss an ear, such plenty smiles upon my board, by garner shows so fair. I wonder how the rich may feel, an Indian man, an earl. I deem that I, with but a crumb, am sovereign of them all. Hmm.
Read it again.
Seems she has the earls in there. Hmm. Okay, God, 791. God gave a loaf to every bird, but just a crumb to me. I dare not eat it, though I starve, my poignant luxury. To own it, touch it, prove the feat that made the palate mine, too happy for my sparrow's chance, for ampler coveting. It might be famine all around, I could not miss an ear. Such plenty smiles upon my board, my garner shows so fair. I wonder how the rich may feel, an Indiaman, an earl. I deem that I, with but a crumb, am sovereign of them all. She's rich. I guess she's rich in poetry. With just a crumb.
Depends on the crumb.
If she had just got a crumb. 792. Through the straight paths of suffering, the martyrs even trod, their feet upon temptation, their faces upon God. A stately shriven company, convulsion playing round, harmless as streaks of meteor upon a planet's bond. Their faith, the everlasting troth, their expectation fair, the needle to the north degree, wade so thou through polar air. 793. Grief is a mouse, and chooses wainscots in the breast, for his shy house and baffles quest. Grief is a thief, quick startled, pricks his ear, report to hear of that vast dark that swept his being back. Grief is a juggler, boldest at the play, least if he flinch the eye that way, pounce on his bruises, one say or the three. Grief is a gourmand, spare his luxury. Best grief is tongueless, before he'll tell, burn him in the public square, his ashes will, possibly, if they refuse, how then know, since a rack cannot coax a syllable now. We finished at 793. We read 793, 783 to 793. 10 poems in 15 minutes. Emily Dickinson. Do we only have 1,000 to go? Any comment?
I think we were days ago. We were at 775. I thought we went to 810 at 812, but we don't know.
We're there anyways. So we'll be at 800 soon. We're at 793. So we read 783 to 793.